The Parker House rolls that we are about to prepare are going to just absolutely make your family start to clap. They're going to go, oh my goodness, I want these every week because they are so good. Mom, you just need to keep them in the freezer because they are so good. So try them because you're going to like them. Now, I hope that if you haven't already taken the time to hit that subscribe button, please do it right now because I do these kind of things all the time. Because you know, here at Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, we do things in the kitchen for the kitchen. Now, we decorate, we cook, we chit chat, we do all kinds of things right here around the hub. This is where it is. This is where everybody comes. So, stay right there. The difference with Parker House rolls from some other rolls is the fact that we are not going to slow rise these particular rolls. We're going to actually prepare them in the KitchenAid mixer, and you know what? They're going to come together very quickly. So actually, there's some of those rolls that you could fix on Saturday and have for Sunday dinner. And if you get up early enough, you could fix them in the morning and have them for dinner in the evening. They're a delicious, kind of sweet roll, and I love them. Right. In our mixing bowl, I'm going to first start with liquids, and I'm going to add in a 3/4 cup of milk and then a 3/4 cup of warm water. Let's make sure we have it right. There's our milk. And now let's get some warm water. And we have our warm water. There we go. Our water's in, our milk is in, and we are ready to start adding the rest of the ingredients. Okay, now I'm putting in a tablespoon of yeast. 1 tablespoon. I'm sprinkling across the top, and for just a second, I'm going to let this mix just a little bit. Hopefully you can hear me. Now I'm also going to add in a 1/4 cup of sugar. Because you know yeast love sugar. Now we're just going to give that a minute or two because this is the instant active dried yeast, which is called SAF. Or I buy the brand SAF. And we're going to allow that to come together, for the yeast to start to activate. And it's going to start to gobble up that sugar. And we'll see some reaction. And if we don't see a reaction, then we know we need some more yeast. All right, now in our mixer, I'm going to turn it on low, and I'm going to add in 1 egg, and here I have 1 egg, I have my butter, and my salt, and I'm just going to mix those. I'm going to add in 2 cups of flour. That's where we're going to start, and I'm using a 1/2 cup measure. Four, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 1/2 cup measures, giving us 2 cups. Now I'm leaving the rest off to the side because we're going to need about a total of 4 1/2 cups of flour. Sorry. butter is in our mixture. I'm going to let that mix for just a moment. And then I'll start to add. I'm going to add in the egg, the salt, and the butter. We have about 3 cups of flour in. I'm going to add in another ½ cup. I'm going to stop it for just a moment and use my spatula. We just want to make sure we get all that flour in there, get it good and incorporated. So like I said, this is about 3 1/2. We still have at least another cup, maybe a cup and a half of flour yet to add. Now this part of the video, I can tell you, I will probably speed up because this takes a little while. Now you can see, I'll bring in even a little closer, and you're going to see that it's starting to pull away, picking up that flour. Always give it about 3 minutes in between before you add more flour. Now I want you to see how clean this bowl is. We've added 4 1/2 cups of flour in total. So I'm going to give this about 5 to 7 minutes to knead. I like 7 minutes because I think the dough comes out smoother, and then we'll be ready to put our rolls together. Now while we're waiting for that dough to come together, now while it's kneading, I have taken the little bit of flour that I had left in this container and placed it into my sifter. And I'm just taking that and spreading it onto this surface. This is a clean linen towel, and I like to do this because it allows me to have a nice floured surface. I don't have to have an excessive amount of flour, and it just lets the dough come up the way it should off the surface. And I need a pan. So I'm going to take my pan out, and I'm going to give it a little grease and with some spray. And no, I'm going to use butter this time. I'm going to just grease my pan with a little butter. And I'm only doing the bottom. Now guess what? You can hear the timer going off. So that tells us we're ready to get our rolls out. All right, we've got our towel nice and floured. And let me cancel our clock over here. We need a bench scraper. And I'm just going to dip this a little bit in the floured towel. And here's our dough. I'm going to scoop our dough out. Because you know it still has to rise. Now, there it is. Oh man, it feels so good. You know, I like slow rise breads just because of the textures, and I think they go great with soups and things that are a little heavy, like if you have a stew, a slow rise bread is wonderful. But for something more delicate like chicken or turkey, I love a kneaded bread. So as you can see, this is so smooth. There's that baby's bottom right there. So I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to let it roll, kind of roll it around a little bit because we're going to be working with it. This is where we're going to work. And going to get my bench scraper, and I'm actually just going to cut this in half, and I'm going to work with half at a time. There we go. And I'm going to sit this off to the side. Okay, so here's our first piece. Now I like to, when I'm fixing my Parker House rolls, I like for them to be in little pocketbooks, I guess you call them. So what I like to do is to put it into a rectangle first. It's going to take us a minute. Get it into our rectangle as much as possible. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to kind of trim the edges just a little bit. And what I'm trying to do is to figure out how wide my rolls are going to be. So there, I'm going to take those edges off for now. And I'm going to leave these like this. Now, what I'm going to do with this rectangle is that I'm going to roll just a little more. And if it comes out onto your actual surface, that's okay, because this is our rectangle. Now, I'm going to take this side of the rectangle and I'm going to fold it over like that. fold it over. Got it? Okay, then I have my pan handy, and the bottoms have been greased with our butter, keeping our butter right here. Starting in the center, I'm going to do about 1 inch. 1 inch little rolls, little pocketbooks. And if they're a little smaller, it's okay. And then I'm going to start to put them into the pan, just like that. And I'm putting them in pretty, not too terribly close, but they're going to be pretty close because I want them to rise up. Sorry guys, can't see. Put it right there. Now, that's the first set. Let's look at this that we didn't use. And put that all back together. And we'll roll it back out. Make another rectangle. And another roll. I need a little more flour on my roller. He's sticking a little bit. There we go. Now, I'm going to roll side over to side. And start in the middle. There. It's okay if they're a little misshaped, they won't care. And the people who are eating them won't care. Okay, we're going to go to that next batch. Now you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this one actually in half. There we go. And I'm going to put this into, I'm going to roll him into a log first. That'll make it easier to get it into the rectangle that we need. Giving it just a little flour. There we go. And that's pretty good. Couldn't have done that any better. There we go. Half, 1 inch. And you want these close because we do want them to rise up. I'm going to leave that one there, but I'm going to put one in the middle. There we go. This one over here, we need one in this section. There we go. Put him right there. All right. Let's keep keep things moving. Looks like I'm going to need a small pan. That's okay. I think I'm a shape pan. There we go. Give him a little shape. I think I'll do the same thing to this one. Give it a little more shape. And put him right in there. Okay. Put them off to the side. Here's our next batch. And let's get this rolled out. Alright, pull him over. This recipe just comes together so nicely. They're a little shorter, it's okay. Now, I need a small pan. There's not one here. So that means I'm going to have to pull out, I think, put some of these in my cast iron. You want to try it? Let's get the bigger ones. Oh, this is fun. Now, let's oil him up. Put a little oil on the bottom. Get a paper towel. Okay, now that part's done. And we're going to finish these right here. I don't know, we won't have a lot. And I think we probably could have put them in the other pan, but that's okay. In the smaller one. You know, I think that might have worked perfectly. And we may switch those and just put them in the, get all that in there. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, we could have gotten this. Let's put this in the smaller one. A little bit of butter. You need a little bit of butter. Just a little. Cover that bottom. Okay, let's switch these out. Put them right here in my little baby cast iron. You know, this is a real kitchen, and we're getting ready for Thanksgiving. All right, that's going to work out perfectly, and I'm going to put this one off to the side to use later. All right, there's our half. There we go. We're not going to worry about shapes. We're just going to get them in here because this pan we will probably eat like immediately as soon as they come out of that oven. This is the one that was that little odd shaped one. See if we can scoot them over. Make room, make room. Or if I have a little short one here, I'm going to put him in there and put this over there. So we're playing a little switcheroo going on here. But we want them close because we do want them to rise. And I'm going to put this one there. And this is one. See, do I have a spot in there? I hate wasting a roll. Yeah, let's put him right there. And this one doesn't have to be pretty. He just has to be good. So there's our little cast iron with rolls. And here's our pan with rolls. Now I am going to wet a kitchen towel with hot water, and I'm going to cover it, cover our pan with this wet towel. Watch. Get my water as hot as I can get it. Now you don't want it drippy. Okay, this towel is nice and hot. I'll set that there. Now we need plastic wrap, because we want to keep the air out. And we're going to set up a nice little rising environment. I've got a sunny spot, or I can put it in my microwave. And I may certainly do that. It's going to take about 2 hours at least for these rolls to rise. I can give it a little extra time if I need to, if I want them up a little taller. Okay, so we've got our plastic wrap in place. I'm going to take this nice hot moist towel, and I'm going to lay it over these rolls, because it's going to be a nice warm environment. And I'm going to sit this in the microwave, because that's a perfect environment. It's closed in, and it will rise these rolls very quickly. Well, let's get the plastic wrap off these Parker House rolls. Here's our big pan. You can see how they've puffed up nicely. The oven is already hot and ready. And here's our little skillet, ready to go in as well. Now I can already tell you, these will be gone quickly. I'm going to have to hide these so that they won't disappear. But I'm going to take a tiny bit of butter and just brush over the top.
Stew?
Cabbage soup. You can't do your eggplant unless we go get some eggplant.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Okay. Now, we're going to put these in a 350 oven and let them cook about 15 to 20 minutes, or at least until they're golden brown. Now, these will be nice and golden because I already know we're going to eat these. Now, these I'm going to keep just a tiny bit lighter because I know I'm going to need to warm them up on Thanksgiving Day. Now, this is the large pan of Parker House rolls that we did today. And, I'm taking the last of that butter and just slathering. It's not but a drop or two that's left in this cup. But we're going to make sure every drop goes on the rolls. Now, I'm going to let these cool because I am going to put them in the freezer. And when it's time for Thanksgiving that morning, I'll take them out, let them thaw, and wrap them in foil very well, and put them into the oven and let them warm up again. But while everything else is getting hot, these rolls are delicious. And they're nice and brown. I can see the brownness on the side. And they're going to be really, really good. They're soft, they're pillowy. And I think these are perfect for a Thanksgiving meal. Our slow knead, no knead bread and slow rise, that bread I find better to me for soups, chilies, something really hearty if you have a hearty meal, or even spaghetti sauce, something that's going to be a heavy substance and something that requires a lot of dipping and putting your bread in it, then your no knead bread is perfect for that. But this is the exception. These are little pillows of clouds that you're going to want to serve your family for Thanksgiving dinner. Well, these babies are out of the oven. They are nice and hollow. I still have a little butter over here in my cup, and I think I'm just going to give them another little swoosh as if they're not buttered enough. But you know what? That's what we like. We like rolls, we like butter, and they are ready to go. And so if you want to, let me see if I can lift them up so you can see them on the bottom. I think because we had a dark pan, they got a little darker than usual. But you know what? Let's see if I can flip them so you can see just how dark they are. See, they're nice and golden brown under there. So they are ready. And I'm going to take this one that is in a little corner. Oh my goodness. It is light as a feather. Let me sit that down for just a moment and put you on the stand because we're going to have to taste this. Now, I left the other rolls in the oven for just a few more minutes because their bottoms were not quite as brown as these. But I'm telling you, I'm opening this one up, and I don't know if you can just see how hot they are. Can you see that steam coming off of there? Oh, and you know what I'm gonna have to do. I got my little melted butter here. This roll with your turkey gravy, is going to be so good. So, or with some jelly at breakfast. Or even just by itself. They're delicious, honey. Make yourself some Parker House rolls. You'll be so glad you did. Why not start a couple of weeks in advance, get things ready, and that way you will have a relaxing Thanksgiving to spend with your family. The meal will be perfect and you will love it because you won't be exhausted. Why be exhausted for holiday meals? You can have a delicious meal and you don't have to cook all day. So let's do it together. We've made the plan. Now let's bring it forth. So come back to the kitchen because we're going to be doing some more work in advance because our Thanksgiving is going to be divine and blessed. I'll see you soon, right here in the kitchen. Join me in the kitchen.